Hello.
Hello.
Here comes that boy.
The boy. That boy.
That
boy over there. There's a strange boy. I've seen a ghost. There's a strange boy in the corner.
There's a strange boy in my room.
He's got dark circles and he's pointing at me and I'm like, I don't got candy.
Get away from me. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the After School Special Club podcast. I'm Chris.
I am Mary, and welcome to the festivities that are our conversations. Get ready for this, guys.
Yes, this is a show where we talk about video games, we talk about entertainment, and we talk about our stupid lives. Today, we're probably going to talk about all those things. So just a quick reminder before we start, you can watch us on YouTube, and you can also listen to us on iTunes and Spotify, whichever you prefer. I prefer YouTube.
I prefer BoopTube.
Wow.
No, I prefer actually Spotify. Just because I don't like to look at myself on camera, on video. I'm like,
But if you like, you can watch us on YouTube. Sometimes I cut stuff into the video, so it's worth watching because you might see, I don't know, some honkers.
Yeah, and also the amount that my hair has changed. You get to see the fluctuations.
That's so true. Those are things you cannot pick up from just the audio, but
I feel like Clementine from Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Remember that movie, Chris?
I think I deleted that video off the channel.
No, you'll never see it.
It was like, because it was good in the moment, and then I was like watching it again, and I was like, I don't want this here.
Yeah, it's a bit dry.
Yeah.
It's a bit slow. We don't know what we're doing there.
Yeah, we tried something, and you know what? We failed, so it's fine.
We all learn.
We have other ideas. Speaking of, I guess, a little channel update. So we have our backdrop arrived for our set. We're just waiting on some other props. Like we got chairs. We got a little table. So yeah, we're slowly piecing it together, but we like this setup for right now. So we'll probably be here a couple more weeks as we figure out the other room. But
it's like we're expecting a baby. It's like we're expecting a studio. It's like we're about 2 weeks in.
Right.
It's gonna be beautiful. It's gonna be big. Well, San Francisco big.
Yeah, it's funny. It is like we're setting up like a nursery or something. We're
Yeah.
like slowly putting things in there, expecting like the podcast to be our child. And it is.
It needs to be childproof for me. You can't let me get in any sockets.
It's okay. It's completely carpeted.
Okay.
So yeah, that's where we're at with that. We have other ideas too for some video content. We want to do some gameplay videos. We want to do more field trips because that was really fun. I liked filming those. I liked editing them. We have some great ideas for stuff that we can do, places we want to go and show you guys in SF. And that's pretty much it.
Yeah, so that's the direction of the channel, I would say. We're moving.
We're moving
on up.
We're moving to Canada.
Yeah, we're moving up to Canada. Trudeau's like, is it still Trudeau? Didn't he have, I don't know. Anyway,
let's not
talk about politics.
politics.
You're not supposed to talk about politics. I should learn that. So the first topic is the new Resident Evil. Welcome to Raccoon City.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mary, how are you feeling about this movie so far? What are your thoughts?
So right now it's just like there was an article and there was maybe 3 pictures. There was 3 pictures that were released.
Yeah.
Of like the set. Like you get to see Claire and Leon
Mm-hmm.
and this weird creepy baby monster thing. I'm not sure what that is, but it's there. My first impressions were I was excited because I'm a huge Resident Evil head. That's probably my second favorite franchise of all time.
Mm-hmm.
We don't talk about 6, but anyway. And so seeing those pictures, it actually reminded me of the actual games, like the original games for like the PS1, not the remakes, like the actual like game.
Yeah.
And I tried watching the Resident Evil movie franchise with Mila Jovovich. I did like those, but they weren't Resident Evil. It was like an action movie.
Right.
So I'm really excited for these. And their costumes.
Yeah.
It looks legit.
It looks really good. Yeah. So like Mary said, there's just a couple photos from the movie so far. And a little bit of a background on it. So I pulled this from an IGN article where they interviewed Johannes Roberts, who is the director and writer for the movie. He says that it's based on the first two games, and he claims that it's not related to the previous film. So he says, this movie really had nothing to do with the previous franchise. This was all about returning to the games and creating a movie that was much more a horror movie than the sort of sci-fi action of the previous films. I was hugely influenced in particular by the remake of the second game, and I really wanted to capture the atmosphere-drenched tone that it had. It was so cinematic. And so that really excites me because we were kind of talking before the episode that like we were joking like what's worse, like movies that become games or like games that become movies. And like I feel like it's a very fine line, and I think it's hard to take a game and distill it into a movie, because like a game is like hours and hours and hours and hours of content.
Yeah, and it's like you're not going to show them picking up ammo, like collecting ammo.
Right.
Like that can't be an actual, and it's like, oh, this wasn't like the game. It's like, yeah, but in the game you're like running around and like opening doors, closing doors, opening doors. Like you want a movie like that? It's like
3 hours.
And I'm
the
like,
door opening sequence from the first game.
Yay! Screw! And I'm like, give me more. Is there a sequel? Woo! Goosebumps. No, but yes, and like I am excited because of what he talked about, like the cinematography, like with the game, like the remake especially of the second one. And I feel from the pictures that are shown, it actually seems like it is going that direction, which I'm super excited about. But I think that movies influence games. So like movies throughout time have influenced like games,
right,
from the creation of games. You know, like the movie Alien has inspired games like Metroid. And I'm trying to think of video game like turned movies that were actually like really good. Yeah,
okay, I will say though, I do really like the Silent Hill movie.
Yes, okay. I feel like that movie is one of the exceptions to that rule, because I did enjoy it. I really liked how in the beginning sequence it showed her like on the ground and like all the fire, and like now she's in Silent Hill. Like that was really impressive.
Yeah. It's cool, like, and I'm hoping that's kind of the direction they go in with this movie, because kind of like Johannes mentioned, like it's based on the first two games, and it sounds to me like it's gonna be like, it's not gonna be like copy and paste, here's the plot like in a movie. It's gonna be sort of like an amalgamation of the first two games, and like I'm sure that they will take some liberties to, you know, be able to express the happenings of those games and those characters and their stories in a movie format. But I feel kind of reassured after like reading this interview and learning kind of the stance that they took on wanting to make this movie, because it does sound like they want to capture and maintain that essence of Resident Evil, which is important to me. Like if you're going to turn a game into a movie, like I want it to feel like the game.
Yeah, and I think that's why for me like 6 doesn't work, because it's more, for me personally, some people really like 6.
Yeah.
Because it's more of an action game. They got away from horror. Like it wasn't really about horror anymore.
Right.
And I think they saw that, like Capcom was like, okay, like this is something the fans said about this one. The next one, so 7, they went back to horror. They went back to the horror, and it really took off. And I love 7.
Oh, 7's so good.
Yeah, and 8, like Village, is really good too.
Yep.
And I feel like that's kind of the movie, like it reminds me of that, like the movies that with Mia Jovovich remind me of Resident Evil 6, because they're more action movies, and it's moving back into like a Resident Evil 7 metaphorically with these movies that are coming out.
And Roberts even says that himself. He said, I wanted to go back to the horror of it all. I wanted scares and atmosphere rather than full-on action. I think the fans of the game felt the same. They wanted to see the iconic characters and locations that the movie was more in line with the Resident Evil game. And that's why they kind of chose to go in that direction. He also says in his interview that they worked with Capcom directly to not only like work on the characters and, you know, costuming and all of that stuff, but also even he mentions it was even to the point where like they got the blueprint of the mansion from Capcom to try and recreate the set as faithfully as possible to the game.
It's so cool.
Which I think is awesome. Like it's those kinds of commitments and like little details that in production of movies and video games alike, I think bring that sense of like realness, you know, and also in this kind of case where we're adapting games into movies, it brings that sort of sense of not nostalgia, but it stays true to what the original was. And I think that's important, especially for fans, because, you know, I think you're not just like making a movie for people who like movies, right? Like if you're going to turn a game into a movie, obviously you want it to appeal to the gamers. And I am definitely interested because it seems like it is going to be very true to what the original was. So, or were.
Yeah, and one of the images actually shows the mansion in the images that they released. And that was my first like thought when I saw that picture.
I was like, oh yeah, it looks.
I was like, it looks very similar. It looks like the mansion.
Yeah.
And like when you play through those games, that mansion is very iconic.
Oh yeah.
And it's almost a character in itself. Like you remember walking through it. They're riding motorcycles. The zombies are riding motorcycles
through the mansion.
It's like I love the motorcycle zombies.
I'm like, I don't really remember that part.
I don't remember that, but I like it.
It's like zombies on motorcycles, and they get to a door and they get off, and it's like,
and they the wheel goes through the door. And like Leon's like, what the hell? It's like, cool motorcycle, dude.
So just some more information on the movie. So Roberts mentions that we also see the return of Lisa Trevor, a child who is experimented on by Dr. William Birkin and led Umbrella to discover both Nemesis and the G virus. Roberts describes her as terrifying, but also tragic. Me.
Yeah, I know. When I wake up, terrifying.
Mirror, terrifying and tragic.
And I'm just like,
and then he mentions that he's hoping to connect her more deeply to Claire's story. And so in addition to her, we'll also see, obviously, kind of like we mentioned, the other iconic characters of the first two games, like Leon, Claire.
Love Leon.
Chris.
Love Claire. Love Chris.
Just every person. You're like,
I love them. I love them. Zombie? Love them.
Jill Valentine.
Best. No one does it better.
No one does it better than Jill Valentine.
Yeah. She's my Valentine. Every year.
And the movie is coming out November 24th. So I think that after we fucking die from Thanksgiving in retail, we should go watch Resident Evil.
It'll be a treat.
Yeah,
we're sitting there like all like zombies, like blood, and we're like, yeah.
We'll be the zombies.
Yeah, we'll be like, yeah. At that point, once it's like Thanksgiving, you know, because we sacrifice our souls during retail holiday season.
The retail ritual.
Yes. I think it'll be a nice break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited. I'm trying to see if I don't think I had anything else to say about it really, but because really there's not even that much. Is there even a trailer?
No, there's no trailer yet. It's just the images.
Which is interesting because it comes out in like a couple months.
That is pretty like I like that. I like that because I feel like movie trailers a lot of times nowadays. I think the Marvel franchise really kind of kicked this off more so is the movie trailers show everything from the movie. All the like the scenes that you're like, so when you're watching the movie, you get distracted because you're like, I saw that in the trailer.
Yeah.
Like I've seen this before. It's like rewatching it.
Yeah, and I almost like that there isn't a trailer because I'm like, I don't know what, like, I don't know.
I'm not going to watch a trailer.
I don't think there will be one.
But if there is one, I refuse to watch it.
I'm like, I send you a link. I'm like, Mary, watch this.
Yeah, and it's like there was a bot that commented on our last video. We removed it, so you can't click on it. But so Chris texted me, and he was like,
a bot commented.
Yeah, but I didn't read that. I just read someone wrote a negative review, like
which I didn't even.
Yeah,
say
I know you didn't, but that's where my brain went, and I was like, what? I was like, I need to read this. I need to see what needs to be worked on, and so like I saw the comment and I just clicked on it. I was like, oh, I wonder if they posted like a picture or something, like a video of like commenting or something. It was porn.
Mary's a boomer.
I am a boomer. I you know those people that you're like, don't tell your social security over the phone. Like, don't tell your, you know.
Yeah, you're like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
And 2, 3, 4, 5.
Everybody give your social security away.
The scammers are like, yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
A little bit of scamming.
All day long. A little bit of money in my ground. Anyway, so that happened. So you don't worry about the comment. It's not there anymore. We reported it.
To the police.
They're coming after you. Bot.
Bot from Slovakia.
Yeah.
Czechoslovakia.
It's like beep.
Meep. Honk.
Honk.
Just a goose bot.
Yeah. It's a good goose bob.
Good goose bot.
Anyway, so there's something else I want to talk about that we didn't have time to talk about last week. And it's a little bit older now, like the news. So you've probably heard about that if you're following like retro games at all. But I have this pulled up. As reported by VGC, journalist Carl Jobst recently posted a bombshell YouTube video claiming that Heritage Auctions has been part of a scheme to inflate the prices of old video game cartridges for an increased profit. He claims that Heritage co-founder Jim Halper and Wata Games president and CEO Dennis Kahn were the ones leading this fraud operations as Wata directors artificially raised the value of games they've graded. Very few of the games being sold at Heritage Auctions were actually purchased by game collectors. Heritage Auctions has since denied this accusations, with a spokesperson claiming that Job's video contains many misstatements. A company spokesperson from Wata Games gave the following statement to Screen Rant, basically just saying like we didn't have anything to do with that. This was written by Jay Brody Shuri at Screen Rant, the article. But basically, like when that article came out, like I think it sold for like $2.5 million or like $2 million, a graded copy of like Super Mario Bros. For the NES. At first I saw it and I was like, that can't be real. Because I'm really into game collecting right now and like retro game collecting. So that's where I've been headed. And like I go to stores all the time. This is like something that I do.
Yeah.
And when I read that, I was like, oh, that's odd. Like it just seemed weird to me
that
it would sell for that high of amount. Because that game is it was widely distributed.
Right.
Because it was so popular. So there were so many copies of that out there.
Right. There's no way that it would be actually worth that much money.
Yeah. So, but they deny it. So I don't know the truth of that really. But anyway, regardless of the truth of that, regardless if they did inflate the price, it is affecting people's perception of games. Like people that didn't really know games values, or like they didn't, like if you go to a garage sale or like a yard sale, you go up there and they have like a stack of games. They're like, oh, my kid, they left it when they went to college and I just want to get 50 cents each game.
Basically what happened to me.
Oh, I want that story.
Well, no, I mean, I already have told you that before, where it's like my mom just gave away my games.
Oh, yeah. That's a sad thing.
Because I went home and I was like, I don't have any games left. Except I brought Valkyrie Profile 2 and I brought Final Fantasy 9. Which, like, that's fine. Those are two of my favorite games. But, like, I was just like, where are my games? Yeah,
because it's like a lot of people that aren't involved in games or don't play games don't really know the value of them.
Right.
You know, not only like the value of emotionally having something that you really like to play, but also the financial value of it.
Right.
And now, because of that article, people are starting to kind of be interested in it more. So there was a video game hunter that I follow, Metal Jesus Rocks, and latest video, he talked about, he recently went to a yard sale, because that's what he does. He gets like cheap games on the, and he was like, hey, do you have any video games here? And she was like, no, actually somebody just came and bought them all. They bought all the games. All that I have.
Wow.
And she's like, I wonder if it's related to that Mario. Like, seems like it's a lot of money because of that Mario article. I was like, man, they're waking up.
Oh my God, people are opening their eyes. Shut your eyes.
Shut them. I want a deal.
No one wants you here.
I want a deal. So basically, it's kind of inflating all prices of like retro games in a way. Like it could. I don't think it's going to, but the potential is people are going to overvalue their games now because they're like, oh, these people are wanting these. They want this for their collection. It could be like an
impetus of like this new movement towards like monetizing not basically monetizing nostalgia, which is what Nintendo basically does.
Oh yeah.
But as a corporation.
They're like Nostalgia Alley.
Like.
Which is also Nostalgia Alley is a game store in Petaluma. It's great. Mom and pop owned shop. But anyway, it's kind of, I like it because more people are like, oh, video games are valuable, right? Like they hold value. They're not just a waste of time. So that's cool.
Yeah.
But also it's like it could really hurt people that are game collectors out there who like to play retro games on the actual system.
Right.
As opposed to like emulations. Yeah.
Yeah. Or like a port. Yeah.
Yeah.
I also like the thing that concerns me too is like with anything that gets popular, right? Like people realize there's a way to make money off of it. And like, and for me, like as a gamer, like the for me, it's like an emotional investment, right? Like, I don't care about the money. Like, even if I have games that become worth like however much money, it's like that's not the point for me. Like, for me, it's the emotional investment, it's the story, it's the being. It's like reading a really good book where you can't put it down and you're just immersed in this world, right? Like, there are like so many of my favorite games, it's like I can't even explain the way that I've connected with them, or just like how they've affected me emotionally and made me feel. And like, my concern is that people will start kind of taking up space in the community out of greed.
Yeah. Like
And
for
not
financial
out
gain.
of what I think gamers as a whole care about, which is, the emotional investment in it.
Yeah, it takes away like somebody who just really wants that Kirby game,
Right.
from like an N64 Kirby game.
God, I
Crystal,
want to play Kirby.
yeah, I love
Kirby,
Kirby.
Kirby and the Amazing Mirror.
Oh, that game's great. Anyway, so so they really want to play that game, right?
Yeah.
And because of this inflation, they might have to pay more, and they don't even care about the value. They just want to play it again.
Right.
And it kind of shuts that door a little bit.
Yeah, and it sucks because like I doubt, because that's another thing. Like, I doubt like that game's not going to get a port, and like like not now, and like you could probably emulate it. Like, you could probably download it but it's like that's not the that's not the point. Like, I want to play Kirby in the Amazing Mirror on my Game Boy Advance.
Yeah.
Which I don't have anymore because my mom gave it away. But
You're
not bitter.
You're not bitter at all.
But like, if I still had it, I would want to play it on that console because that's the experience. It's like games for me are about investing in story, and then there's a sentimental aspect to it. Like, Mary and I, yesterday, I showed her Valkyrie Profile 2, which is a PS2 game. And I brought it over her house and put my memory card in. We played, and then like, I just wanted to see like what did I have on this memory card, and it was crazy just seeing like the dates.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's another thing. It's like time. It's like a time capsule.
It is, because it was. There are dates that were like 2008, so like 12 years ago.
It's like blowing off the dust and being like, oh yeah, that's what I did.
Literally.
During that day, I played this game. Yeah, and that's the thing. The emulators, you don't get that. Like, you don't get like, even if you had a new memory card, right? You can buy new PS2 memory cards, and you put it in and you play a game. Like, just the idea of like seeing that physical little sprite in your memory card was so cool.
Dancing around.
Yeah, they did have like animations. It was always like there was art style for each game. And it was all different.
Yeah.
Like, that was cool.
And there's something gratifying in a weird way about seeing, because all of those games were originals. Like, I had like Kingdom Hearts 1, 2.
Mm-hmm.
I had Final Fantasy 10, 2, 12 on there. Shrek 2.
Yeah, Shrek 2. That surprised me. I was like, hold up.
We were
got
like, what's
Shrek
that
2?
icon? And I scrolled over and it was like Shrek 2, and I was like,
okay, first off, I have so many questions. Was Shrek fighting onions? Like, was he just like, we're onions?
He
like
was fighting onions, I think.
Okay.
Or like onions.
Little onion things?
There was something, I think they were maybe like a drop. Or like they were maybe like health or something. I can't remember.
Onion.
But I remember it being like a platformer because I remember
God.
going like running around.
This is hilarious.
Oh my God. We should see if we can get a copy.
Yeah, we should just play that.
Oh my
God.
God.
Like, load your save and just pick up right where you left off.
Yeah.
We pick up and it's at the beginning. You're like, this
I didn't
game's
do
trash.
anything. I just created a new game and I left it. Yeah, it's funny. There's something cool about seeing like, because all of those aforementioned games are ones that have like remasters or remakes, and at this point, and it's cool to be like, oh yeah, like that. Like, I played the original Kingdom Hearts 2 when it came out on PS2, had the case with the cool like shiny cover.
Oh yeah, I had that too.
And I wish I still had it, but I don't. And it's like now that franchise has like 4 or 5 like reinstallments of Kingdom Hearts 2 because they keep remaking it and remastering it.
Yeah.
But it was cool to see like this is the original save data from like the original game.
Yeah, because it shows you like your passion, like for getting it like right away. Like I remember Kingdom Hearts 2, like I got it the day of, and I think I beat it. You know me, it takes me a long time to beat games now. Yeah. But I beat that in one night.
Oh yeah.
Like I just like powered through it, and I had like the strategy guide. I was about to say study guide. The strategy guide with it, because I bought it both together. Mm-hmm. And also, I loved that strategy guide because it had little stickers, like little mini stickers.
I don't
in the
think
back.
I had that one.
I just saved the stickers because I'm one of those people that I'm like, I
You're
don't
like,
want to stick
have
it on
the strategy guide,
anything.
I just have the stickers.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I agree. Like something about playing the game on the original hardware, seeing your like save from 12 years ago brings about one of the purest, most like good feeling kind of. It's like comfort.
Yeah.
It's like a comfort soup.
I wish that I had, because that was my most recent memory card. I wish that I had my first memory cards. So I could see what I was playing back in like 05, 06, 07.
Shrek 1.
Shrek 1. There was also Madden, and
yeah.
So that, I was like, that must have been my brother, because I was like, I've never played a sports game.
And I was like, Chris trying to blame his brother playing sports games.
Yeah, I'm like, it wasn't me. I was like, Mary, don't look.
Don't look at it. It's not me.
Because I've spent so much time crafting part of my identity as being this person who hates sports. So like...
You're like actually a really big fan.
Yeah, I'm like
you
closeted
sneak into games.
fan.
You're wearing like a sports hat and you like walk into a game and then like you're like, oh no, and you like take it off and you put up another hat and you're like, hi Mary.
Hey Mary.
And I'm like, hey, I watched the game and I'm actually into games like sports too. So like we're both saying we're not into sports, but secretly we both are. And I was like, I was watching the game the other day. I mean, and you're like, were you? And I was like, I thought I saw somebody that looked like you.
I was like, I thought I saw someone that looked like you.
Watching me.
Watching me.
Through the screen. Omnipotent. Anyway.
But yeah, those are my thoughts on that. I don't know. Like I said, it could be the start of a culture shift. And like, I really hope that like it doesn't. Because I'm like super protective of our like insular community.
Yeah. And
I don't want people being involved for the wrong reasons.
Yeah, and it's so strange because like I don't know about you, but my experience as a gamer when I was like a teenager, it was like looked down upon.
Oh yeah,
like you were bullied for like playing, especially like, you know, if you played games a lot, like I did like hundreds of hours of Final Fantasy, like you were looked down upon.
Like I was
bullied.
made fun of because it was like I was wasting my time.
Yeah, me too. And now it's like lucrative and like everybody's getting involved. People that normally wouldn't play games originally, they're like, oh, I can make money off this. This is like I can go on Twitch and like become a streamer. It's like it's a different shift now. And now, like, I think growing through that and, like, growing up around that.
Yeah.
It's, like, it's hard to feel, like, you know.
Yeah.
But
I'm happy. Like, I'm happy when people get, like, even if people, like, if you play games at all, like, I consider you a gamer. So, like, you could play a game, like, 2 hours a week and that's fine.
Like, Bejeweled. That's a gamer. You're a gamer. Yeah. You play Bejeweled.
You play Temple Run? That's great.
That's a game?
Temple Run is the only mobile game that I've ever played. And I actually could not stop.
I really like Temple Run.
Right.
I
would play it again right now.
Yeah.
Wait, is it? I don't think it's still available. Is it?
I don't know.
If it is, I'm downloading
it. I played Bejeweled. Like, Bejeweled was I could not get off that.
But yeah, my point is, like, I am happy when, like, people realize that, oh my God, it's still here.
It's like we're inviting more people into the community, and that's a good thing.
Exactly.
That's a great thing, because then you get more perspective, more people are playing games, they have more of appreciation for it.
Right.
In that, you get more people that want to be involved in the gaming production.
Right.
You get more insight.
Right.
The more you get people. So that's good.
Yeah, so, sorry, I'm distracted. I'm downloading Temple Run.
Gotta run, playing Temple Run.
I'm screwed. I'm gonna just be playing Temple Run.
You got a PS5 and you're playing Temple Run on your phone.
Temple Run on my fucking iPhone. Wow, 10 years? What?
It's 10 years old? Was I playing that when I was 19?
When did this come out? Because yeah, it says the little icon 10 years.
18. Wow. That was my sly way to tell you my age.
I wish it had an original. Does it have an original published date?
1905.
1905.
The first Temple Run was done in the Egyptian mines.
But yeah, I'm always happy to welcome people into the community when, you know, it's for the right reasons and not for money.
Yeah, exactly.
Because yeah, I do. I get happy like being able to share the excitement of talking about games with other people, especially people who are affected by them in the way that I am, you know? So yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of games that I really like, I got The Medium.
Yeah.
I like The Medium literally, I think it's one of my favorite games of the last few years. And so they just released the PS5 version. And so I got it and I've been playing it and it looks so good, and there's no frame rate drops because it's not splitting a screen on my shitty gaming PC. It's
You get to play with the PlayStation controls, like X, square, circle, triangle.
God, yes.
No more Xbox controller.
So that's been awesome, and I'm almost done with it already. To be fair, it's a pretty short game.
Yeah, I watched Chris play it yesterday, and I gotta say that game knows how to pull you in. Like the story, like I was enthralled. I was like, what's more? What's gonna happen?
Right.
Because it's so interesting. The characters. What was his name again?
Thomas,
the tank.
The tank. He got that booty.
He got that booty
and that face.
Yes. Besides his gorgeous looks, his character seems very interesting.
Yeah.
Like they all have a backstory that you want to know more about. And yeah, that game's awesome from what I've seen.
Because it's just, I mean, it's like, you just keep learning little things about the characters, about the story, whatever. And like, it doesn't feel contrived because like I could see the setup of the narrative being very easy to just kind of like take from a mold and like fill in the gaps. Like you have this character with a past and she doesn't know anything about her past, and so she's slowly finding clues and figuring out what's going on and meeting characters related to her past. Like it could easily become contrived, but I think that they did such a really great job of like unraveling the story in a very interesting way, and it's very engaging.
Yeah,
and the gameplay is so fun. Like I was playing the parts as Thomas, who's like the secondary protagonist, and Mary was watching, and it was really cool.
Yeah, I enjoyed watching.
I like those parts playing as him, where you're inside people's minds.
I would say the medium is just my size.
Wow. Try it on.
I'm like, let me wear your skin.
It all ends in me.
It all ends in me. Play the game, you'll understand.
I feel like I'm gonna have so much stuff to edit into this video. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put little maws.
Yeah, just like around. Can you put one on like right here?
Yeah.
It all ends in me. It all ends in me. I'm like a little cutie.
Oh, so cute. He's like, I want to wear your skin.
I want to kill you.
And I'm like, okay, honey.
Okay, you can, sure.
Sure. You can wear my skin.
He gets a little knife out. He's like, ding, 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 ding.
He has the little stilettos.
Yeah. He's like, why isn't she dying? And I'm like, oh, little creature. He gets more mad.
That's it. What have you been playing this last week?
So I was playing Row 96, what we talked about last week.
Yeah.
Still, I played more of it. I think I'm at the almost at the very end of that. But I've been playing actually on the PS2. Speaking of retro games, Silent Hill Origins.
Yeah.
So that's the game that takes place before the first one. And I was interested in that because Silent Hill games are, very lucrative, and I found a good deal on it. It was like $50 less than what it was.
Yeah.
So, yeah, my first impressions of it was interesting because you play as like a trucker, and like he has a truck, and he was like just going through Silent Hills. Of course, he's like I want to go around it. I don't want to go through it. But then he has to go through it because like a bridge is like taken down. He has to go through there. So he goes in there, and of course he loses contact with his radio. He can't say 5 or 5 or 9 or 9er. And he like goes in, and all of a sudden there's a building on fire, and then he has to save this little girl in his house, and like the little girl is like the girl, the girl in Silent Hill, the burn victim,
the Silent Hill,
made it silent. She made it silent.
She made that hill silent.
Yes. So it's interesting because the character like is completely new and different. Like I don't really know much about him. It's good so far. I think it's less tanky than playing the originals, but the 1 and 2 are so much better. Like, yeah, it's not even a competition. But I am enjoying it because I get to learn more about the lore of Silent Hill. So I've been enjoying it.
Yeah, it is nice. I like when games like retroactively add to the story with like later games. Yeah, that are meant to take place before the others. Yeah. So, is it good? Yeah, you're like,
I'd say you really have to like Silent Hill to like the game.
Okay.
Like, you really have to like that.
You have to be invested.
You have to be invested in the story and invested in the actual like series. I'd say that if that was your first Silent Hill game you were playing, you maybe not enjoy it. But I know a lot of people that like online that actually do like the game a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not too far into it. Like, I've only like maybe a couple hours into it.
Okay.
So
You're like, it could get better.
It could get better. I can't really give it a full synopsis. But so far it's maybe it'll get good. You know, like you're scared. Like it pulls you in. Good.
I had a couple of moments like that yesterday when we were playing the medium. I was like, and that's a sign of a good game too, where like even though I've beat it before, I still am like trepidatious about it.
Yeah, that's the best. That means that they still got you.
Yeah,
they still got you. Speaking of spooky games, Dead Space.
Ooh. Oh yeah, there was the IGN article recently that was comparing the original with the new That moo
The moo. He's wearing a moo. He's like, well, howdy there.
Well, howdy there. It's cold up here in space.
Gotta put this moo on. And a shower.
It's not even something that keeps you warm. It's just like a dress, right?
It's like a shower cap, yeah.
But he's like wearing it over the spacesuit.
Yeah. All the mechanical. I'm like, I really like the direction of the remake, but I don't know about the moo.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't. They seem to take a lot of liberties with the character design.
Yeah, it's like, is it functional? Is the moo going to help him fight? I think it gets in his way. But the actual pictures, so they released like a side-by-side comparison, picture of the old one, picture of the remake. And the article, I think, talks about how it is going to be a remake. So they're going to be getting rid of some stuff that didn't work for the original Dead Space and like introducing new things to it and making it just look better. Like he has more, like the character, he has more things on his like armor. You can see all of the detail and it just looks really good.
He's going to talk.
Yeah, he's going to talk.
Which is cool.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm reading a Verge article right now, and it's called 6 Things We Learned About the Dead Space Remake. That's the first one. Isaac will talk.
Isaac will talk.
Isaac, that's what it's called, Dead Space. Isaac will talk.
That's it. Everyone gets their money. They're like, give it
to me.
Take my money.
Take my money. Dismemberment is going to be more complicated.
Oh. All right. Well, I'm on board.
Zero gravity actually lets you float.
That's cool.
That's going to be cool.
That's going to be really cool. And maybe difficult for some.
Well, I was going to say, because in the original, right, it's like you get into like the zero gravity areas, but it's like you're just bouncing, right? You're not actually floating.
Yeah. It's not like it's supposed to be, I mean, realistic, you know, but this one's going to be trying to be realistic. Like you're in space.
Floating.
You're the ISS.
I'm like, Mary, I'm stuck. I'm stuck. I can't move.
It's like, well, take your moo off and maybe you can move.
It's not called a move. It's a moo.
Get out of here.
That.
I'm vacuuming you out of space. I'm opening the hatch. The moo lays behind.
I like this one. There are no microtransactions. I think that pissed
good.
everyone off with Dead Space 3.
Yeah.
Right, it was the third one.
Yeah, it was the latest one. Yeah, third one. Oh, man.
I fucking hate I could do a whole video about microtransactions.
Yeah. Talk about
I won't, though.
Macro problems. We don't.
Kids are yelling outside.
Yes.
You won't be able to hear them, but I can hear them, and that's enough.
It's like you can hear children in your head. Chris, are you okay?
I'm short circuiting.
You can't hear it, but I can.
It says a lore infusion is coming.
Oh.
This is my IV, my lore infusion.
All right. Well, it fits with your room. We decided to do this on camera.
I'm going through lore treatment.
It's very personal, so let's put it up on YouTube.
Let's see. It says Motive and EA previously hinted that they'd build out Dead Space's story, and today they gave more specifics about what that might mean. We're not going to change the foundation of the story because the story is really iconic. The things we want to enrich in terms of story is narrative. It's really about a bigger universe. We want to have more ties with what came after, whether in the books, whether it's the anime, Dead Space 2. We want to put the original in a better way inside that broader universe. Cool. Very not specific, but
I like that. Surprise me.
I'm waiting.
Surprise me, bitch.
I can't wait.
We're slamming on our. If you can't watch us, we're just slamming on our
watches.
Invisible watches. They're not there, but time's ticking.
Time's regardless of whether or not you have a watch, time does pass.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited. Dead Space was one of those games that I played like years and years later. I think I played it when I was in like high school in like 2016. So like it'd already been out for a couple of years, but it's just one of those like just games that's like so masterful with suspense.
Yeah.
Like it's not scary, but it's like you don't like just the sound design alone of it. I remember being so like,
yeah, it has a lot of tension. There's a lot of tense.
Yeah, it's very tense. And I actually like, I prefer that to like gory.
Yeah.
Like I don't mind gory stuff, but it's like I'm more affected by like suspense and being like, I don't know what's coming.
Which is, as I was saying yesterday, why Alien is my favorite movie of all time. Because it builds up. It's kind of it's a slow burn, but it just uses tension, and that's what reminds me of Dead Space. Like, yeah, the tension building.
Yeah,
love it.
So good. I'm so excited. When does it come out again? Do they have a release?
They
date?
Don't have a
official.
Yeah, official release date.
Cool.
2022. That's what they said.
Cool. Love it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow. Why are the voice actors for characters always really hot?
Yeah, now I'm like, all right, I want to be a voice actor, but like now it seems like you got to be, because before it was like, you don't necessarily have to look like a top model.
But they're getting the, wait, so it's going to be Gunnar Wright, who played, it looks like he played Isaac in, he played Isaac in all of the previous games. Oh, cool. That's really cool.
That is cool.
That they got him back.
Good.
Wow.
Good for them.
It's so funny. Like the microphones are not going to be able to pick that up, but it's just like I can hear it really loud. So I'm like,
it's like a distraction.
Yeah. I mean, so you guys, there's outside of my window, there's the stairs on the back of the apartment building next to mine. And literally this fucking family, I'm about to roast these people on camera.
Can you put your head out of the window with like, but wearing like a towel? And then like a head towel and like a face mask and be like, get the fuck. Be like really angry.
Excuse me?
Get off my lawn.
They're like, you don't have a lawn. And I'm like, bah! I'm like,
honk honk.
But yeah, they like, it's, first of all, the stairs are wooden. So anytime like they walk down the stairs, it's like,
it's like, is that a troll from
literally
Lord of the Rings?
I'm like, is there a fucking troll outside? And then they have kids and their kids are like wild animals. Like they just scream all the time.
They just like stand there like
ah! Yeah, they're just not doing anything. They're just like ah!
They're like, oh, my children.
And it's just like it's like irritating, you know, when I'm just like sitting trying to enjoy my coffee and it's 8 a.m. Because that's the thing, they always scream at 8
They're
a.m.
vibing. Those children are vibing.
Straight up.
With anger.
They woke up and chose violence, literally.
Children choose violence every day.
They do. These children specifically.
Mm-hmm. It sounds like they're just like moving pots and pans on the ground, just randomly. Like, no, I want this pot to go here.
There have literally been a couple of times where I've had to look out the window because I'm like, what are they doing?
They're burying pots and pans. Being as loud as they can.
They see me, they're like... Anyway, that's all we got for today.
That's all we have.
That's all we have, and that's all I can give because I have nothing.
I have nothing
Today. Sorry.
There's just like some pots and pans rolling around out there. It's like a like the older movies, like a slapstick comedy.
Yeah.
Where, like they keep like dropping things, like loud things. It's exactly what's going on outside. Jack Lemmon's out there.
Oh my God. I was going to say, today I give you nothing. Tomorrow, who knows?
I'll give you everything. Did you hear that?
No, because...
Well, because I have nothing, so I'll give you everything of nothing.
I'll give you everything and nothing.
Yeah, at the same time.
At the same time. Mm-hmm. Wow.
So amazing.
Anyway, thank you guys for listening. Again, you can watch us on YouTube. You can watch us... No, you can't. You can listen to us on iTunes and
Spotify. If you really try.
I really tried, but I am just distracted now by these sounds coming from my garden. Mm-hmm. Why did I say my garden?
My
it's
garden.
not a garden.
It was like Chris's sounds from the garden.
Sound from the garden.
Pots and pans. Relaxing. Thank you for watching every week, maybe. No, but if you would like to leave a like or subscribe, it would be amazing.
Yeah, please do it. It helps
do
us
it.
climb the charts.
The YouTube charts.
Every chart. Give us a like on iTunes. Specifically matters the most.
Yes.
We have I think 4 or 5-star reviews on iTunes.
Thank you, people.
Thank you. They're definitely not all from me.
No, and not from me too. We both did it. We're like, don't tell the other person.
I think I did.
The 4?
No, I did 1.
Oh, I didn't do any. So okay,
Mary,
three people. I don't like it. I don't like our podcast.
you 1 star. You're the person who's been thumbs downing our videos.
I've been the person that's thumbs downing the videos. Like, I don't like this.
Yeah, thank you guys. We do appreciate it. And thank you for your feedback. We are using it to
further our growth.
Yeah. Our growths.
Our growths.
I have a growth on my arm that I
Just
need
get
your
that checked.
feedback on.
I'm gonna check that after this. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.